We're going to talk about WWE Netflix on their special. I hated it. As Raph said in chat, it was a mini PLE. I came in, it's like, all right, we get to see some wrestling. What's this? Like 4 or 5 matches? There's 5 matches in 3 hours? What is this? And the only reason I caught that spot, Raph, was because I saw it on Instagram this morning. I'm like, oh. Well, I don't know if that was a stink or if that was supposed to be like a nod or something. Most of the time it's a nod, but you expect, you know what? I mean, honestly, it was turning controversy into money. I just didn't, I don't know what to say about it. I just don't. He's going to do it to Roman too. He's got to. I mean, he's got to do it to every member of S.H.I.E.L.D. at this point. The same way that Edge has to choke out every member of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's got to put a rod in their mouth and choke them. So yeah, Raw on Netflix on this first episode on January 6th was really a mini PLE. I hated it because it was less wrestling and more of, we got celebs in the audience tonight. There's Boy Meets World Danielle Fisher, and not gonna mention Will right next to her. What kind of crap is that? He is right there. Finny, that is so rude. So rude to do that to Will. He is an icon. He is a treasure. But it was still funny. Bumblebee don't have a voice. Yep, Bumblebee doesn't have a voice. Yeah, it was mean, but it was spent more night going into the audience to see the celebrities and seeing the wrestlers that are there celebrating. Yeah, there's my tag team champions right there. You're spending more time focusing on these. Like, oh, these people have time to do this. Get their asses in the ring and start wrestling here. Come on. Let's go. Get him in the ring. And of course, you get Hulk Hogan just coming in there and getting booed as fuck. Boo that man. Boo that man. That was hilarious because I was also booing as well. Undertaker. So let's just go into the rip. First off, let's talk about The Rock showed up. The Rock was the first one who showed up. Electrifying entrance. Even my boy King Wizard messaged me. He's like, that entrance was amazing. And I'm like, it was. The Rock does a good entrance. And seeing those goosebumps, visible goosebumps, great shit. It was great shit. The Rock broke kayfabe to an extent by being more of a face, being out there. But it's like, no, that's not really like, The Rock. That's like Dwayne Johnson being out there, welcoming the fans. It's actually doing his promo thing. Then he went into The Rock kind of a thing. But I mean, it was still good. The Rock was there, absolutely did his thing, and he bowed out. I'll mention John Cena as it's just in this graphic. John Cena has announced this is absolutely his tour. He announced he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Let's go. I've watched John Cena ever since he was the prototype. He was the prototype record for John Cena. We want that 17th win, don't we? We want that number 17 World Heavyweight Championship. Let's go. I'm there for it. I'm there. I'm John Cena. Let's do it. I'm hoping for the Royal Rumble, hoping for good stuff. But I mean, I was there for the prototype. Every time John Cena comes out and he does not bring out the Dr. Thugonomics, is a disservice to all of us who are old to remember Dr. Thugonomics. Let's talk about the tribal combat. Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. They actually wrestled. It was a good match. It was actually a good wrestling match. My problem a little bit also falls into how WWE does their matches, about their pacing. And I do blame a lot of AEW. I do a lot of New Japan because of that pacing is so fast with them. And it's so fast. It's always on point. And they barely really take breaks. Versus WWE, it's like, bam! The pacing is there to try and also tell that story, and I sometimes feel like the story is getting jumbled by how much it's really just missing the spot a little bit. Now, of course, am I going to say that, Roman Reigns is actually the tribal chief? Yes, he is. He absolutely is. And, I will absolutely agree with Paul Heyman that Roman Reigns deserves the Emmy. If you haven't seen that, the Instagram reel, that video from Paul Heyman, literally going off that he deserves an Emmy, because when COVID happened, Roman Reigns didn't take a day off. He kept working. Everyone in the production industry, they fucking stopped. Guess who didn't? Wrestling. AEW didn't stop, WWE didn't stop, and Roman Reigns absolutely carried the WWE during COVID, the same way that Orange Cassidy and Shida carried AEW during the COVID as well. Wrestling didn't stop. It did not stop. Oh, the YouTube post show had the clip. Thank you. Paul Hands had to be getting tired holding up the jewels. But the tribal combat was great. It's tribal combat. It's no disqualification. Absolutely. The new Bloodline 2.0 came out, did their thing. Here comes Jimmy and Sammy. They came out and did their thing. And, thought was all over. Shocker. Kevin Owens. Good old KO. KO is always right. He came out there, gave a stunner to Roman Reigns, and still, Solo couldn't complete it. Solo couldn't get the 3. And then here comes Cody Rhodes' music, getting Kevin Owens out of there. And to an extent, it was too much. It was a little bit too much. And I only say that, and again, Cody and Kevin didn't fight a long time in the ring. They had one little hard scuffle. They bounced out, and then it fell into the audience. And then we had to go back into the ring to see Roman Reigns, hoo-ah, and get the spear and get the win. It almost a little bit, even for me, it disconnected because of Kevin and Cody kind of taking it out. Now it was old school WWF chaos. It's still disconnected. There was a small disconnect because of that. I expected the bloodline people to actually be there, and that would be the only thing. KO and Cody was a great surprise, but it almost really did disconnect a little bit in that front. But ultimately, Roman Reigns got the win. The Rock coming down and giving the Ula Fala to Roman Reigns. Mwah. Greatness. It does kind of make it weird because last year WrestleMania, it was kind of like, Roman Reigns or The Rock felt like he was going to try and take that shit, So no idea what it's going to lead into as we go into WrestleMania 41 this year, but it's all connected tracks to WCU. But it was a good match there, and that's the thing is, like, I do see like there was actual wrestling involved versus just trying to make some too long of breaks and going in there. The women's world match, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. Congratulations, Rhea Ripley, for being the new women's world champion once again. And finally getting to defeat Liv Morgan, finally getting to kick the balls of Dom, which again, Mr. Levesque, Paul, Triple H, Hunter, if you're nasty. Rhea Ripley versus Dom Mysterio. Let that match happen. I don't care if I really don't care if anyone's like, oh my God, we can't really have. I also just saw here, I don't know if this graphic's right, last woman standing. It definitely wasn't the last woman standing. It really was actually just like a pin. I was actually now seeing it was that graphic as the last woman standing. I think that's just wrong because I don't think no woman actually was standing there. It was a pinfall, not just a 10 count. But let's have Dom versus Rhea. Let's have that match. I don't care if the sponsors don't like men versus women. Doesn't matter. It's wrestling. Wrestling does not care. And if the sponsors don't understand that, then the sponsors shouldn't be fucking doing wrestling. I absolutely agree that there's no like intergender and mixed and everything. It's like, nope, women can wrestle against men. It's all scripted. It's all athletics. It's all fun and games. And by the way, Rhea can really kick Dom's ass. That was a strong kick. It really was a strong kick. Not gonna lie. Congratulations to Rhea Ripley. I really enjoyed it. I think that was a really good match. There was a scene where Liv was going for the second Oblivion, and Rhea caught her, and it was like a moment in time. Time just froze. And all you saw was just a fear in Liv. And then just that look of, that smile from Rhea. And just looking at Liv. And time just stood still, just holding her, just holding her. And then blew a kiss. And then slammed her the fuck down. Just wham. Time stood still. I don't know if anyone else agrees with that, but I have to imagine that, yep, time stood still with Rhea holding Liv like that. Rhea wins. She gets her championship, and she's now going out there. And it bothered me. I'm glad Rhea enjoyed, like, you know, Undertaker being out there, but as a viewer, it bothered me to see him out there, not just because of the MAGA stuff. I'm not a fan of him being a Trump supporter. I don't understand it. I guess he's a racist and hates people. I don't fucking know. But he didn't need to be there. That's my problem. Like, why was the Undertaker there during Rhea's celebration out the ring, out going down the ramp? What was he there for? They did the pose. The pose was cool. But he rode his bike out, rode it around the ring. Fans got excited, did the pose, and then rolled out. Didn't even like pick up Rhea. She's like, hey, hop on the bike, hold my shoulders, and just ride around like a chariot and holding up the title. Do that. Provide some reason why the Taker was there, as the badass, by the way, and just provide that. Him being out there and doing all this, like, why? Took away from everything. I have no idea why it was there. It was a waste of time and a waste of space. And to me, it was like, this is Rhea's moment. Why is it being outdone by Undertaker for no reason whatsoever? He's not coming back. He's just here to ride a motorcycle around people because it was Netflix. It was Raw on Netflix for the first time. You couldn't find any other time for him to come out and just do that. Couldn't find any other time? Nope. Okay, cool. They said he was there since he was the first main eventer of Raw. He could have came out at a different time. And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, he was the first main eventer of the very first Raw. And I do remember Michael Cole saying that now. Yeah, I do remember Michael Cole saying that. Could have been happening any other time. You could have given the man Mike time. You could have taken out time to, we're going to take the 5 minutes away from looking at celebrities and let Undertaker come out and just say a few words. And then have him ride out. Instead of interrupting a championship, the only championship match, and letting the winner not walk away. And that's just me as a viewer. Rhea loved it. Rhea was on the post show talking about it. I was like, yep, had a great time. Love that he was there. Cool. Still didn't need to be there. He didn't need to do that scene at that time. He could have done it any other time. But anyways, or have him appear with the celebrities, like Where's Waldo? Yeah, it could have been that. He could have been part of the celebrity stuff, just sitting in the crowd. There's the Undertaker with Michelle McCool, the first main eventer of the very first Raw. Yeah, I'm right there. This is my cool wife. Yeah. Nope, just drive around your motorcycle after a championship match. That's my optics, and my optics might be weird and wrong. Next up was Drew and Jay. I cannot believe they got away, or at least let it happen, that Travis Scott came out smoking a blunt, guys. That man came out smoking a blunt. Just seeing him, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's with the hardcore title. Not a fan of it, but, you know, I'm also jealous that he has it, but, you know, it's not my hardcore title. Doesn't really have, like, a significance. It's like, anyways, that's a whole podcast in and of itself. But, you know, just, you know, talking about it, just, you know, Travis Scott coming out there, and also just, I'm like, oh my God, that man has a fatty. He is it's according to Pat, it was Sage. No, Pat knows better. Pat McAfee knows better. He's the enemy of the straight edge superstar. New enemy has entered. Yeah, came out smoking a fatty. And Jay Uso coming out and just, like, you know, hanging out. Didn't smoke anything either. Hearing Triple H response at the post show, he was like, man, we almost got away with that. And Thank you, Jay, for just saying no. He was like, he said, thank you, Jay, for just saying no. Like, this is a damn Dare commercial. What? I can't imagine if the adrenaline just hit and Jay took a hit right there before he got into the ring. It's insane. But of course, then you have like everybody, doing the yeet, doing the bounce. And seeing Pat McAfee do it was cool. Seeing Michael Cole do it, Mike Cole, sit down. Sit down. I'm 40 years old. Even I know I don't need to be doing this. Seeing Michael Cole do it, it's like, Cole, you are living your best life right now, my man. You got that tenure. You know exactly. You are WWE's JR Jim Ross right now. Fuck it. You just caution to the wind, man. On that table, doing the. But remember, Michael, it's just that you hold your arms and your torso is going up while the arms going, or your torso is going down while your arms going down, and then you're going up. If anything, you're just doing this. You're kind of just like laying a sway, and your arms are doing the work, not your whole body. You're not bowing. You're just doing your arms like this. Oh, that's right, D. I just remembered. You're Canadian, so I bet you didn't get the commercial breaks. By the way, the Netflix Raw and Netflix is going to have commercial breaks unless you're international. So what you're going to want to do is get yourself a VPN service and then watch that shit international, because the international folks don't get commercials. So you're welcome. Got so mad because I was getting commercials, but the international people don't get commercials. God damn it. So this is Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre. Of course, Drew is absolutely hating every single. Drew is hating everybody in the bloodline. He hates Roman Reigns. He's got a grudge. He's blaming the bloodline for all of his past mistakes. And of course, he's going to go after Jey because Jimmy and Sammy did stuff in the tribal combat. These two have their own thing, so they're going to do their own thing. And Jey really is doing his own thing. He's main event Jey Uso. Jimmy is Jimmy. Jimmy is Jimmy. So nothing wrong with that. Jey found himself. It was a bit stiff at times. Not gonna lie, I think Jey I think has a little bit more work to do as a singles wrestler to a degree. Again, some of the stuff that he was doing was a little bit stiff. It really heavily relied on Drew. Jey ultimately did get the win with a quick pin, and of course Drew from a reversal from a Claymaker, sorry, my brain. From the Clay. I'm just gonna Claymaker. Clay. Nope, my brain's actually pausing. Like I just can't even say the word. Pretty sure Raph is gonna type it in for me. That'll be really great because Claymore. There it is. Haha, I got the word. 40 years. Don't hate the brain. But he had the Claymore. It was missed, and then Jey was able to wrap him up 1, 2, 3, and he bounced. Could have seen more, but it wasn't also anything spectacular. It could have been more, but I'm not sure. That match also felt like something that it was there to either fill time or is there to really cut time, depending on how the timing of the rest of the. It wasn't a small. Remember, the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment is a small package. He just had the roll up. It wasn't a true small package. It was a crucifix pin, really. That's kind of how my brain kind of figures that it was a crucifix pin. But yeah, the small package. That's it. A surprise roll up. No. The surprise roll up is a small package. That's what Xavier always does. It's any surprise roll up. Man, that's so cheap. No, that's not gonna count. Nope. The small package is the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. Not any surprise roll up. That's just silly. But I do think that the Drew and Jey match was kind of there to fill in some time a little bit. Either fill in some time to make it longer or to make it less, just depending. And then finally we get into the CM Punk and Seth Rollins match. It was a great match. It really was. It was absolutely heavy-handed. They both put a lot on the line in that match. And again, the ending with the double GTS. Not sure if that was a nod. Not sure if that was poking fun. Wrestling's going to be wrestling. Probably could have just done with that myself. And again, unfortunately, internet be internet. So I didn't really think anything of it. It's something definitely ringing in the back of my mind. It's like, this seems familiar, but Seth sold it very well. And then yeah, it's Seth did sell it very well. Coming from the superplex, and then he's gonna roll him up for the Falcon Arrow. I'm not gonna say I didn't dislike CM Punk not selling the superplex, but it was still a very awesome maneuver. It was a great sequence. Coming out of that superplex, still your body is absolutely feeling that superplex, and Seth's picking you up, and then you're just immediately reversing it, picking him up, GTS, him just like, oh my God, I got hit with the GTS, and then lay onto him, and then another GTS, and getting the 1, 2, 3, absolute winner. Absolute winner. So obviously it's not going to be the last thing that Seth and Punk do. I think this match was put here because of Raw and Netflix. It was there because of Raw and Netflix. I think we would have gotten a little bit more flesh of this if we would have seen at least another promo, or if this match would have had an interference or something cheap. But it wasn't. It was CM Punk getting the cleanest of victories over Seth Rollins. And now we go into the Rumble. Now we go into the Elimination Chamber. And then we go into WrestleMania. Raph is right. They're going to run it back in SummerSlam. I think they're going to run it back into SummerSlam, and then they're going to actually have their finale in WrestleMania next year. I think that's probably going to be the key. Now, of course, I was just being, silly when CM Punk absolutely got knocked into the outside, with the vault over to the outside. Like, oh my God, don't snap your ankle. Oh God, don't snap your ankle. So I was just being a pill at that point. But I think their main event match was absolutely good. Overall, it wasn't enough for me. And again, talking with Raph, talking with some friends, like this wasn't a Raw. This wasn't wrestling. This wasn't a Raw that you're going to always get. This was literally just a mini PLE just to do promotions. That was it. They're going to have the top people. I think Roman's now coming to Netflix, because just like Fox Sports wanted Roman Reigns when they went over, that's why Roman went over there. So now Netflix probably wants Roman, to be honest. Special event for a special occasion. It wasn't for me. It really, I sat there, I had a decent time, but it wasn't as entertaining. And so I am going to watch Netflix next week. I am going to watch Raw Netflix next week and see how it goes, because I'm expecting actual wrestling. I'm expecting 2 hours or 3 hours of actual wrestling and story for it.